After watching Inside Out 2, I feel a core emotion was missing from the main cast. It would introduce so many new plot lines and could truly shake up the hierarchy amongst the current emotions. That core emotion is passion. Passion is the biggest love bug of all. She's passionate about both people and things, obsessing over them. She falls hard for anyone who gives Riley any attention and feels those connections deeply. This makes her quite naive, as she's pretty optimistic about people's intentions and misses red flags. She clings on to all the latest fashion trends and tries to incorporate all of it into Riley's new style. She's a blend between infatuation and love because it's kinda hard to decipher between those two when you're younger. For her design, I took a lot of influence from Lovecore. Lovecore features lots of reds and pinks and things associated with Valentine's Day. Its centers around crushes and a love for love. I gave her red glasses to signify her tendency to view people through rose-colored glasses. They also just make her look fun and cheery. The addition of a tutu may be a bit of a stretch, but hear me out. Tutus are reminiscent of childhood, especially girlhood. They also represent a sort of softness and femininity. Young girls often have big crushes and are into feminine stuff like bows and thrills, which are commonly seen in Lovecore. Therefore, passion wears a tutu. I hope you guys got that connection. I gave the tutu a feathered trim to represent swans and cupid wings. I was also gonna give her cupid wings like on her back, but the rest of the motion is dressed kinda casually, so I felt like that'd make her stick out a bit too much. Wings are also pretty hard to draw, so I just didn't want to draw them. For her hair, I gave it this swirly style. It kind of looks like a Twinkie, which connects to that sweets and Valentine's Day theme. Also, for the color palette, I color picked it from the mood board. I really love that shade of purple for the skin and how it looks with the reds and oranges. Honestly, it was pretty hard to pick her color palette. The obvious choice would be pink or red, but those colors were already taken by anger and embarrassment. Honestly, I didn't get why they made embarrassment pink at first, but I guess it's cause pink is the color people turn while they're blushing, so that makes sense. I think they could have gone for a more redder tone to it. Also, I'm kind of just thinking of like in The Sims, where when the Sim is embarrassed, they just have it yellow. So I just kind of would have imagined embarrassment to be yellow as well. Anyways, after finding that beautiful swan image on Pinterest, I decided to use that as her skin color. It's pretty pink leaning anyways, so it's close to what I wanted. I then brought red as a secondary color and orange so I could use it on the hair and the tutu. I considered giving her a boa because I thought like that would be so her to just casually wear a boa all the time, but I felt like it would be leading a bit too much into that like glam vintage aesthetic, which that's not really what the other characters are in. Like again, they're pretty casual. I made the background of the image have clouds because she's like such a daydreamer, and therefore having her head in the clouds. I also felt the blue would pair really well with the warm color palette. Honestly, the only critique I have for this drawing is that I don't think I drew her weight quite right for the full body image. In the smaller image for my first sketch of her, I imagined her to be more on the chubbier side, but I'm still learning how to draw poses, and it's kind of hard to like not default to a skinnier body when drawing poses. It's something I'll have to keep in mind for future drawings. Anyways, that is all for her design. I love how it came out, and I think like she's the cutest ever, and I love her energy in all of these colors. I feel like they work just really nice together, and they're also like kind of a unique color palette too. Now that I'm done explaining her personality and design, I want to get into why I chose her to be the new emotion for Hypothetical Inside Out 3. The last movie ended with Riley about to go to high school. This means that she just became a teenager. As a teenager, you feel everything deeper and you start to understand relationships, maybe even entering one. Passion is a representation of those emotional tendencies when it comes to love and interest. As a teen, you're also trying to figure yourself out, so you cling onto a lot of stuff, just trying to form your identity. Fashion styles, new friends, and trending subcultures, each one feeling like it's so you and getting so passionate about it just to switch to something completely different the next week. This is especially true for teen girls, I feel, as seen in their common interests in TikTok trends and Pinterest. It would be interesting to watch her discover the difference between love and infatuation and how some people could take advantage of that passion. We'd also discover that you don't have to have yourself figured out right away and you're meant to be adventurous during this time. Now for my favorite part. Character dynamics. I'd imagine that her and Joy would basically be partners at first. They both got optimistic attitudes and toxic positivity, so they'll bounce off each other really well. Note how I did say that they'll be partners at first. I'll get more into that in the next section. Her, Envy, and Disgust would come together to come up with fashion ideas. They would style Riley's new look to make sure she looks as great as possible for her new crushes and friends. I imagine she and Sadness would have cry sessions reminiscing over lost friends and failed romance. They'll definitely just be watching rom-coms together all the time. She wouldn't be all buddy-buddy with everyone though. I'd imagine she wouldn't like Envy's apathy as it directly contrasts her whole attitude. She'd also clash a lot with Anger as he'd be quick to drop people that he thinks are treating Riley wrong. They'll definitely enter many arguments, both refusing to admit fault until Joy comes in and breaks them up. They both got that fire in them that's impossible to put out. She wouldn't have as many issues with fear and embarrassment, but there would be like a bit of conflict. He would try preventing her from going too crazy with her romantic ideas out of fear of her getting injured. I know Passion is such a dreamer and would definitely want to go over the top to get Riley's crush's attention. As for embarrassment, he'd just be afraid of rejection and always hide away whenever he sees that Passion is in control of Riley. Now for the plot concept. The movie starts with Riley entering high school and immediately getting a crush. This leads to the introduction of Passion, her new emotion. Joy is with Passion at first, getting giddy over the new crush and seeing how awesome high school is already. This is until she realizes how everyone is so easily swayed by the slightest action of her crush. Like, he can just say one word to her and everyone will be obsessing over it for the next week. He's also all Riley talks about with her friends, cutting them off to bring the focus back to her crush issue and asking them for advice on how to win him over. Anger agrees with Joy's dislike of this new dynamic, specifically not liking how he keeps asking things for her like homework answers and lunch money. He tried to get everyone to calm down about the crush guy, but it's too late to deter them now. Passion has taken over, making Riley sole focus on getting her crush to like her back. She's struggling at school and hockey practice because she can't stop daydreaming about him. Her friends seem to pull away because attention is always on her and her issues. Her parents are getting worried about the money she's spending, drastically shifting her fashion styles every week. Passion doesn't care about these issues though. She believes this crush is the love of their life, and therefore these other problems are pretty worth it for that main goal. Throughout the movie, Riley battles with the heightened emotions and stakes that come from having a crush and losing herself trying to appeal to them. Joy and Anger work as the opposing force, trying to make everyone behave rationally and not let the way they feel about this new guy make them lose themselves completely. And that is it for my Inside Out theory concept and new emotion Passion. I hope you guys enjoyed listening to my character ideas. Do you guys agree that Passion would be a nice new emotion, or do you envision something else to be better? What do you think the plot for the third movie would be? Leave your answers down in the comments. I'd love to check out you guys' ideas. Be sure to follow me at stariegazer on Instagram and TikTok, and subscribe here on YouTube. I got some other art and commentary videos in the works and we'll be posting every Saturday. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.